Have you ever wondered if your assumptions have the power to shape your reality? Let's take a moment to ponder over this thought. It's a concept that's as intriguing as it is mysterious, the law of assumption. This principle suggests that our assumptions or beliefs have the potential to manifest in our actual reality. It's a concept that's been explored by philosophers, psychologists, and even scientists over the years. Imagine you wake up one morning and you assume, quite confidently, that you're going to have a good day. You're not just hoping for it, you're certain of it. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and there's an air of positivity that's palpable. You carry this assumption with you throughout the day, and lo and behold, you're met with a series of positive events. The morning coffee tastes exceptionally good, the traffic is surprisingly light, and your workday goes by smoothly, sprinkled with little moments of joy and success. Now, was it just a lucky day, or did your assumption of having a good day play a role in shaping your experiences? It's certainly food for thought. The law of assumption proposes that it's the latter. It's not about blind optimism or wishful thinking, but a belief so strong that it starts to influence our perception and our actions, which in turn shapes our reality. It's as if our mind is a painter and our assumptions are the strokes that create the canvas of our lives. But what happens when we apply this law to different scenarios? How does it work when it comes to our relationships, our careers, or our personal growth? Does it hold the same power, the same influence? It's a fascinating exploration, one that might just reveal some profound insights about our lives and the world we live in. That's the power of the law of assumption. But how does it work in different scenarios? Let's delve deeper. Consider the story of a successful entrepreneur who was once a struggling businessman. Like many others, he had a dream to create something valuable, something that would make a difference in the world. He wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth, nor did he have any extraordinary talents. But he had one thing that set him apart, a powerful assumption. He assumed he would succeed. This wasn't just a fleeting thought or a casual daydream, it was a deep-seated belief, a conviction that was as real to him as the air he breathed. No matter how many obstacles he encountered, no matter how many times he stumbled and fell, his assumption remained unshaken. Let's delve deeper into his journey. When he first started, he had little more than an idea and a burning desire to make it happen. The road was long and filled with hardships. Financial constraints, skepticism from others, and even his own self-doubt were constant companions. Yet he held on to his assumption of success. Every setback was a stepping stone, every failure a lesson learned. The more challenges he faced, the stronger his belief in his success became. He assumed success so profoundly that it seeped into his every thought, his every action. It was this assumption that spurred him to work harder, to persist when others would have given up, to keep going even when the odds seemed insurmountable. And guess what? His assumption became his reality. His business took off. His product made a significant impact. His dream became a tangible reality. His success was no longer an assumption but a fact, a truth that was evident to all. Now you might think that his story is unique, but it's not. Countless successful individuals have used the power of assumption to shape their reality. They started with a simple belief, an assumption of their success, and held on to it until it materialized. So you see, his assumption was not just a thought, but a strong belief that shaped his reality. This is the power of assumption. It's not just a concept, it's a way of life. It's a tool that you too can use to shape your own reality. The question is, will you? Now let's move on to a different scenario. Imagine a couple deeply in love. This isn't your typical love story. This is the story of Jack and Emma. They were as different as night and day. Jack was an extrovert, always seeking thrills and adventures. Emma, on the other hand, was an introvert, finding comfort in her books and solitude. Despite their differences, they shared one common belief, an assumption that they would have a happy and fulfilling relationship. Their friends were skeptical. How can two people so different get along, they'd ask. But Jack and Emma were unfazed. They assumed that their differences would not lead to conflict, but rather enrich their relationship. They believed that their love was strong enough to overcome any obstacle. So they navigated their differences with grace and understanding. Jack would accompany Emma to her book clubs, and Emma would join Jack on his hiking trips. They learned to appreciate each other's passions and interests. Their assumption of a happy relationship started to manifest itself. Their differences, rather than driving them apart, brought them closer together. They learned to communicate better, to understand each other more deeply. They assumed happiness, and happiness is what they got. Their relationship was not devoid of disagreements and arguments, but they always found their way back to each other. They realized that their differences were not hurdles, but opportunities to grow together. They assumed a harmonious relationship, and that's exactly what they created. Their story is a testament to the power of the law of assumption. They assumed a happy relationship, and their assumption became their reality. They created a fulfilling relationship not despite their differences, but because of them. Their assumption guided their actions, their decisions, and their reactions. It shaped their reality. Their assumption of a happy relationship became their reality, further proving the law of assumption. Are you starting to see the pattern? Throughout our journey so far, we've seen examples of the law of assumption in action. From the ambitious entrepreneur who built an empire against the odds, to the couple who found happiness in each other's arms, they all had one thing in common. They assumed the end result they desired, believed in it wholeheartedly, and let that belief guide their actions. Now you might be thinking, isn't this just positive thinking? Not quite. While positive thinking is an important aspect, it's only one part of the equation. The law of assumption is more than just thinking positively. It's about truly believing in your assumptions and acting as if they are already a reality. It's about embodying the mindset, the habits, the actions, and the lifestyle of the person you want to become even before you've become them. Think of it like this. Imagine you're an actor preparing for a role. You don't just memorize your lines and put on a costume. You delve deep into your character's psyche. You understand their motivations, their quirks, their fears and desires. You become them, in every sense of the word. That's what the law of assumption is all about. It's not just pretending or wishing, it's immersing yourself in the reality of your desires. But remember, this isn't about deluding yourself or ignoring reality. It's about creating a new reality within your mind and letting that reality guide your actions and decisions. It's about tapping into the power of your subconscious mind and using it to shape your world. So, as we delve deeper into the power of assumption, remember this. The law of assumption is not a magic spell that will instantly manifest your desires. It's a powerful mental tool that can help shape your reality. Believe in the reality of your desires, act as if they are already true, and let that belief guide your actions. The law of assumption is not magic, but a powerful mental tool. So what have we learned about the law of assumption? We've traveled a captivating journey together, weaving through tales of success and happiness, all underpinned by one powerful principle, the law of assumption. In essence, this law states that what we assume or believe about ourselves and the world around us tends to shape our reality. Our assumptions, like seeds sown in the fertile soil of our minds, grow into the tangible experiences of our lives. Remember the story of the successful entrepreneur? She didn't start with a silver spoon or a stroke of luck. Instead, she started with a powerful assumption, the belief that she could build a business empire, and so she did. Her assumption became her reality. Similarly, recall the story of the happy couple. Their relationship wasn't always smooth sailing. They faced their fair share of storms, but they held on to the assumption that they could weather any storm together. And that assumption solidified into their reality, a harmonious partnership that stood the test of time. But let's not forget, the law of assumption is not a magic wand. It doesn't instantly transform our lives. It requires consistent belief and action. Just as the entrepreneur had to take calculated risks and make strategic decisions, and the couple had to work on their communication and understanding, we too have to act on our assumptions. The law of assumption is an empowering tool, a compass, guiding us towards our desired realities. It's not about wishful thinking, but about believing in our capacity to bring about change and then acting upon it. But a word of caution here, assumptions can be a double-edged sword. Negative assumptions can lead to self-defeating behaviors and outcomes. So it's essential to cultivate positive assumptions, ones that uplift and empower us. Remember, your assumptions are powerful. Choose them wisely because they might just become your reality.